with that animal as long as they are awake. So everything that we have to do from a daily healthcare standard, we have to find a way to do it from the other side of the fence, and that can be rather tricky. And that is where training comes into play. So one of the most important parts of being a zookeeper is making sure to look at every inch of the animals that are under your care. And that can include the belly of a mountain lion, or even the tongue of a bear, or the back ear of a coyote. There are lots of different areas you need to make sure that you look at on these animals. And training is what enables us to make sure we do that efficiently. So let's take a look at some of the behaviors that we are working on right now. And it looks like we've got some basic target training to start out. So you'll notice the keepers can hold up that bright red buoy on the end of their training tool to the fence, and the mountain lions will touch their nose to the end of it. Now that might seem like a silly thing to ask a mountain lion to do, but it becomes a great way for the keepers to move the animal around. So if we needed to look at the belly of one of these large carnivores, we could try to go in there and pick them up and take a look at it, but that would probably be the last thing we ever did. So instead we ask them to target or keep their nose on that buoy, and then we can move them around and see their entire body, making sure their belly, their nose, their tail, their ears, everywhere on them looks nice and healthy. Now we also practice a lot of desense touching. So you'll see the keepers using the other end of their training tool to maybe give the animal a nice little poke. Now, we're not poking them to be mean, and it's definitely not a good idea to take a stick and poke a wild mountain lion. But in this case, we're just desensitizing the animal to a light touching sensation. So that whenever our vets come along and need to do a routine blood draw or a vaccine, or if a keeper wants to apply a little bit of ointment to maybe a scratch, we can do all of those things without having to sedate the animal. So it's really important to practice that little bit of touching every single day because it eliminates a lot of stress from the animal's life. We don't have to chase them around and try to sedate them for all of those minor procedures. We can do it all nice and safe and calmly from the other side of the fence. Now, a little bit about our two mountain lions we have in here. They're male and female, with Santiago, our male, being over on your left-hand side, and our female, Majeska, over on your right-hand side. And just like almost all the other animals here at the zoo, they were taken in as rescues. So these guys were found orphaned or otherwise abandoned, and they were brought in here for their own survival because they were too young to survive in the wild out on their own at that age. But I will stop there for a second just to point out that behavior. Don't worry, you'll hopefully see it down the other end as well. So it's one of my favorite behaviors to talk about because it's a perfect example of the keeper using the animal's natural physical ability to help out in their health care. Because mountain lions can jump up to 15 feet straight up in the air, no problem. So what the keepers have been able to do is ask the mountain lions to jump up on that fence just 1 or 2 feet for us, and then we can take advantage of that moment to look at even in between their back toes. So I was not kidding when I said we have to look at every part of that animal, including in between the back toes of a mountain lion. So that's a really good example of the keepers really using the animal's natural physical ability to help out in healthcare. Now, not only can mountain lions jump up to 15 feet straight up in the air, but they are known for the distance that they can leap. Mountain lions are phenomenal ambush predators, which means they are built to hide behind objects and jump out over longer distances. Mountain lions are known to leap over 30 feet long. That means in a single bound at a running start, a mountain lion can leap over a school bus the long ways. That is what they are known for, that long leaping ability. Now it looks like we are wrapping up our training session, guys, but don't worry. We will stick around and answer all of your mountain lion training questions or other questions about our zoo. And thank you so much for stopping by our Mountain Lion Keeper Chat. Now, as soon as the keepers turn around to face you, that is their cue. They are ready for your questions as well. But if they're still working with the animal, remember, they have a large carnivore a couple of inches away from their fingers, so they need to remain as focused as possible. So make sure you direct your questions to keepers that are turned around to face you at that moment. Thank you again, guys, for stopping by our Mountain Lion Keeper Chat, and enjoy the rest of your visit here at the Orange County Zoo. Absolutely.
Whoa.
Any questions that Rachel didn't answer?
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
So, it's like assembly.